Detroit versus everybody, man. Detroit, we rep the hardest, man. We gain the hardest. You know what it is, man. Detroit, CJ, holla at your boy when we get home.
Most exciting man in boxing. Exciting man in boxing. Led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV.
Yo, this is Deontay the Bronx Bummer Wild, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'd like to give a big shout out to CJ Goodfellas Sports TV. Bomb Squad, baby.
Man, here, man. 122 pounds and 10-5, man. Watch the Goodfellas Sports TV, bro.
All right, man. Let's talk about heard some information on the Spence and Crawford negotiations, man. And first, let's talk about the Bud really not have no leverage. You hear people saying, "Well, Bud don't have no leverage, and he got to take what Spence, offering." At this point, man, obviously, man, that's pretty much the bland look at it, bro. When you kind of looking at whatever they got going on, that's like to the naked eye, yeah. But how did Caleb Plant leverage Canelo? You know what I'm saying? He got $10 million when he wasn't even worth 10. And he leveraged his own company in PBC. So at the end of the day, if if Spence wanted to be pound for pound or undisputed and be pound for pound number one, Crawford brings something to the table. So he has some leverage. Now, he definitely don't have all the leverage. That kind of went out the window when he left Bob Arum and he did what Errol Spence said do. Was that fight not going to happen? And he let, Bob Arum tell him that, it was time to tell him that, they don't want to fight. But, he left Top Rank anyway. And obviously, Bob Arum was talking shit and putting him down too. But one thing Bob Arum did tell the truth to him about was that they just didn't want to fight. Right. And that might be some truth that he may be, seeing now. All right. But let's talk about it. Check out the welterweight and boxing playlist. So, I got good and bad. I got bad and bad, and I don't know how you want to determine this good or whatever y'all want to determine this as. But at the end of the day, they are negotiating. Now, obviously, Stephen Espinoza told y'all that on Town Business channel. All right, he told y'all. I played the link. Go to Town Business Sports and ENT channel, and you will see the Stephen Espinoza interview that he did. So Espinoza already said they're in negotiations, and so did Tim Smith tell y'all that they were all in negotiations for that fight, and Tim Smith said we ain't had the money for him, or whatever the situation may be, right? So, Crawford actually has some leverage because if Errol Spence really want to become undisputed, like Canelo really wanted to become undisputed, you got to understand PBC bent to Canelo's demands, right? What you mean he bent to Canelo's demands? Well, they had Canelo basically agreed to a 3-fight deal, is the rumor. And then Canelo reneged on the 3-fight deal, right? Which was Benavidez. The rumor was it was Benavidez, Caleb Plant, Benavidez, then Errol Spence. That was the rumor 3-fight deal, right? And at the end of the day, Canelo came back and said that, he didn't want to sign that 3-fight deal. Right? So PBC, then they hit another road bump and said that he wanted the same person if Caleb Plant fell out or something like that. And he wanted the same person fight Anthony Durrell. PBC then bent to his demands again. Right? Then I'm pretty sure it was some negotiating on Caleb Plant's side about what he wanted. Right? It probably was some negotiating on his side about exactly, what he wanted to get out of the deal. And they ended up giving him $10 million, which he probably never made nowhere near that amount of money. And he probably wasn't worth that amount of money. So when they talk about Terence Crawford not being his viewership or his numbers not being worth what they worth, well, what Keith Thurman, how much money Keith Thurman worth to y'all? Because Keith Thurman just did 30,000 pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? So, Canelo had a bunch of leverage. And then again, that's Canelo fucking Alvarez. But they bend, it wasn't even bend on break. They broke for Canelo. And then Canelo turned around and still played them and still went back to Eddie Hearn and signed to the zone. He still played them and turned around and went to the zone. So, Crawford got some leverage here, but it's not a lot. You know, because people say, where's Crawford gonna go? Well, Crawford can do a lot of different things. You know, Crawford go fight Virgil Ortiz. He go fight Josh Taylor. He can move up, fight. He the super champ. He can move up, fight Tim Tszyu for the belt. Or if Charlo want to fight him for the belt, when Castanos win or Charlo win, they want to defend the belt, he can fight them. So he literally got options. In boxing, there's plenty of options. Now, it might be optional options that we might not see coming. You know, but it's always an option in boxing, especially when you're a title holder and you a name. You know, so always remember that. He always gonna have options. It might not be the options that you care about or I care about, but it is what it is. He gonna make money. He gonna make money. He gonna make money. So, I mean, he got leverage. You know, because ain't no after all that hyping up and saying that he want to fight Errol want to fight Terence Crawford. You know, like I said before, if that fight don't happen, you know they gonna just turn around and blame Terence Crawford for being difficult. You know that. Somehow they gonna turn the gun, and it's gonna be, well, Crawford didn't want to fight, he didn't want to sign a deal, and but then again, Canelo Alvarez kept moving the bar back, and they found a way. They found the way to make the Canelo Alvarez fight happen. All of a sudden now you want to get cheap. You want to get cheap with the brother. All of a sudden you want to get cheap with the brother. That's what they tell you. All of a sudden they want to get cheap with the brother and don't want to get a brother something. So at the end of the day, it's going to be Terence Crawford fought regardless. Or then again, if Terence Crawford win, he going to be in the lose-lose regardless, except for his money. If he lose, he was never that good. If you win, Errol Spence was a shell of itself, the weight drain. So if he looking for assurance, or if he looking for validation, only validation he gonna beat by fighting Terence Crawford is beat the dog walking shit out of him. All you can look for is self-validation. That's the only thing he really got to look forward to. Self-validation. That's it, getting the belts. Because people ain't gonna be giving his credit until he retired. He's 52 years old, then they're gonna talk about how great of a fighter he was. So, like I said, if he's looking for validation, it gotta be self-validation. It gotta be validation for Omaha, validation for Coach Reds, Bomac, Saul, Bernie. It gotta be validation for them guys, for all the work they put in through the years. That's the validation that he's looking for. But that's the validation that he got to be looking for. But moving on, I can tell y'all this. All right, this is the latest and greatest update that I got on their negotiations, and they talking. Apparently, Crawford won 50-50, and he ain't budging. Now, Sean's supposed to see me he supposed to send me what Sean Porter said, and Sean Porter apparently said, according to him, that Bud is stubborn and he not gonna budge off of that offer. So basically, Crawford demanding a 50-50 split is the rumor, right? So that's what leaked out, and that he ain't gonna budge on none of that. That's what they saying, right? Then on Errol Spence's side, he still asking for 80-20. He telling the public that he was joking about 80-20. They saying that he ain't joking about that. And like I told y'all, that's where the last talks broke down at. They said that the last talks broke down that he was asking for, was it 70-30, 80-20? And they said, well, we're going to revisit the fight after the Ugas fight. What's my point is, the only reason I can see them revisiting negotiations if the pay-per-view number's not that good. You know what I'm saying? So, and then again, I know for a fact Team Crawford got access to the real papers. At one point, real numbers, they did. So at the end of the day, they know closer than they was when they first started negotiation in my mind, which I don't know all the particulars. And apparently Sean Porter must have said on the show or the last thing, whatever he said, Bud's stubborn. We all know that. He not going to move off his demand. That he won a 50-50 split, but people look at it as Terence Crawford, Errol Spence is the bigger draw. Errol Spence got 3 belts, right? And, you crossed your side of the street for Errol Spence, so he made you move off your mark, and you come into PBC. And then you can also look at it as, well, I'm pound for pound, higher than you. I won every belt that you're trying to get. I'm undisputed. I won belts in 3 different weight classes. And the guy that you're trying to fight instead of me, or they trying to get you to fight and Keith Thurman instead of me, he did 30,000 fucking pay-per-view buys. Even when I fought Postal, I at least did 70. And the guys you running with the Charlos did like 50. Even before I was ready to be a pay-per-view star, I was doing more numbers than your contemporaries. Right? And ain't no telling what him and Ugas really did. Because they had $35 tickets and $40 tickets. How you got tickets that low in the pay-per-view, $80? And then people were saying it was all types of ticket giveaways there, where they gave away tickets to football teams and cheerleading teams and football leagues. It was a whole bunch of little kids there from different football teams. So they was giving out tickets. And the top 2 sections was closed. You can't even really sell at the crib. Canelo come to your crib and sell more. And even though that's the original Mexico, if we're going to be fair, Canelo went in there and put 51,000 people in there. That's 11 more thousand people than you when he fought Liam Smith. He put 71,000 people in there when he fought Billy Joe Saunders, and Liam Smith and Billy Joe is a virtually unknown. Imagine if he did fight Benavidez there, Jamal Charlo there. That bitch would sell out 100,000. That shit might have 110,000 people in there plus standard room. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, come on. But Errol Spence got all the leverage. He got the network behind him. He got Al behind him. Terence Crawford, the worst thing Crawford could have did was left Top Rank. If that's the worst thing he could have done. I can say, well, Bob was bad mouthing him, fine. Because that made it seem like they got more leverage, or it's an easier fight to make. Is it really? If we talking about the money not there, at least Bob, we know for a fact, Bob just ponied up damn near $50 million for Dillian White and Tyson Fury, and it don't like he gonna get no return in America on that. They trying to charge us $70-some for that fight. In the UK, they charge them $33 art money. But then again, in the UK, they can't upcharge the pay-per-views. That's law. And they can't upcharge the ticket sale. That's law. So basically, that's what's going on. They where they was before when they stopped negotiation before the Ugas fight. Crawford won 50-50. He won 80-20. No closer. I ain't even sure if they got to a venue, they got to a ring size. And that's why Terence Crawford, Errol Spence went out there and said that take the L out of Lover. It's over for him fighting Keith Thurman. I only won 1 fight. So he said he willing to budge and budge, but he wouldn't say, well, I didn't ask for 80-20. I was joking, man. That nigga, that's what he asking for in negotiations, they say. That's exactly what he asking for in negotiations. So, like I said before, he's shown to be an habitual liar. So, I mean, they said, well, this fight got to happen, man. When it come to niggas, man, nothing got to happen. When it come to the Mexicans or black versus Mexicans or whatever, they find a way to make it happen. When they should have just split the bill with ESPN and we would have lost together, we would have lost together. We'd have won together, so be it. When they didn't want to let Bob Arum and Al Heyman in Showtime and ESPN split the bill, or Fox, y'all should have knew that was dumb. Come on, I ain't crossing the street. Deontay Wilder did, and Tyson Fury pulled some foul shit. He pulled some real foul shit. Y'all forgot. He left. He left and went to go sign with Top Rank. It took 2 fights before the rematch. Once again, Al Heyman should have just signed Tyson Fury. What was he thinking? Crawford got a sign over there just to fight Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury didn't. Lomachenko didn't. You know, even Miguel Cotto didn't. When he lost the trial, he went right back. Oh, he went to Golden Boy. Talking about PBC should have gave him the decision off of Austin Trout and left. So you just got to look at it. You got to look at it. You know, so I mean, say what you want to say. Errol Spence fans always say, yeah, 40,000 people in there, $35 fucking tickets and comps. We still ain't got the gate numbers. He had 40,000 and 100,000 seat stadium. Canelo had a 71,000 versus Billy Joe and 51,000 versus Liam Smith. Fucking hey, yo, that's so fucking impressive. You a hometown kid, and Canelo ain't even from there. So, like I said before, that's the update, man. And like I said, when he said we're gonna revisit this after the Ugas fight, that never made no sense to me. If they didn't have the money, when they didn't want to work with Bob Arum for this fight like they did with Tyson Fury, they let you know everything you need to know right there. So it is what it is. Hopefully we get the fight, but I ain't really banking on it. Y'all talking about what Earl said. Earl said a lot of things. Earl told Errol Spence, Terence Crawford to get a belt. He got a belt. Then he said he taking the easy route. You know what I'm saying? And then he lied and talking about, oh, man, I was just playing about 80-20. Man, that nigga asked for 80-20 right now. I heard he asked for $20 million. So you can believe what that nigga say all you want to, bro. Just like the Charlos tell y'all, we don't control our career. We don't pick our opponents. Same for him, man. This plan been laid out. And then he was talking about he wanted to fight Keith because Floyd said he should fight Keith as a bodyguard. And they know damn well that he wasn't posed, like he didn't want him. Al was saving the Keith fight for down the road. Get your ass in there with Fondora then. That's what I say. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notification. We go live, we drop a video. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Spotify, Anchor, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. By hitting the link in the description. First link in the description under find me everywhere. Also, you want to make a donation, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal in the description, Cash App, $CJ Good 313, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description, roll at the bottom of the screen. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know in the comment section. One time for the one time Goodfella TV. Peace.